Welcome to Bodyholic with D. I'm your host, D. Katz-Sachar, and I am eager for us to dive into today's episode together with you, real truth seekers. Today I deviate from what you might feel is not on topic regarding our science-based well-being framework. I will actually argue that today's topic is very, very much about your well-being. And it's also the last episode of the season, so I'm going to start with recommending certain profiles that I think are really on point for you to follow. The first is Chen Mazig, Lily Mu, Emily Schrader, Noah Tishby, Shachal Cohen, Hillel Fould, Sarah Tuttle Singer, and Virag Gulyas. Since I've started the very, very early stages of labor, I actually want to make sure that you keep getting solid information on this specific urgent topic. Today's topic is meant to shed light on behaviors of others that you or someone you know might find hypnotizing. I'm here to ask you to take off your romantic glasses that might be making you blind to extreme harm that is placed within our society today. Literally, there is major funding that goes into so-called activists that seem like they're your buddies, but they are actually pushing a terror agenda, absolute terror. What I want to talk about today is the story that has sent shockwaves through the international community, but I don't think they're nearly enough shocked. So I'm here to try to make things a little clearer to those of you who still doubt or remain in the dark. So, the New York Times recently revealed the Hamas financial portfolio that the Mossad, Israel's intelligence agency, has been tracking for years. Today, I'm taking it upon myself to delve deep into this intriguing story with you in order to explore the implications it holds for global security, and also to look at some aftermath while we're at it. So let's start by understanding the context. Hamas, the organized terror group, has long been a subject of concern for many countries due to its involvement in acts of violence and terrorism. The group relies heavily on financial support to sustain its operations, which include attacks against Israeli targets. The Mossad, known for its expertise in intelligence gathering, has been closely monitoring Hamas's financial activities for years. The recent revelation by the New York Times has shed light on the inner workings of Hamas's financial network. The information obtained by the investigative team provides valuable insights into the group's funding sources, money laundering techniques, and the individuals and organizations involved in their financial network. This information can potentially disrupt Hamas's activities and hinder their ability to carry out attacks. However, this revelation raises important questions about the role of governments and intelligence agencies in combating organized terrorism. While the Mossad has been diligently tracking Hamas's financial portfolio, there are some allegations that some governments, including Turkey, have turned a blind eye to the group's activities. It's actually claimed that Turkey has provided a safe haven for Hamas leaders and facilitated their financial transactions, allowing them to evade international scrutiny. Furthermore, there are reports that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was made aware of the Mossad's findings regarding the Hamas financial network. Despite the warnings from the intelligence agency, Netanyahu allegedly chose not to really take a decisive action, leading to criticism and accusations of negligence. Between you and me, how he can still lead Israel at this point is bewildering to me. But let's stay on topic, and I'm going to try to stay calm on that. The implications of these revelations are significant. It highlights the need for international collaboration and concerted efforts to combat terrorism. The fight against terrorism requires a multifaceted approach that includes disrupting the financial networks of terrorist organizations, strengthening intelligence sharing, and holding countries accountable for their involvement or inaction. Let me repeat that. Holding countries accountable for their involvement or inaction. The specifics of Hamas's financial portfolio are not completely disclosed, as the group operates and seeks to conceal its financial activities, obviously. But it is known that Hamas relies on a variety of funding sources to sustain its operations and carry out its objectives. I want us to get into this for a moment. So the first is state sponsorship. Hamas receives financial and political support from various state sponsors, including Iran. Iran has been a key supporter of Hamas, providing financial assistance, weapons, and training. 2, charitable organizations. Hamas has been known to exploit charitable organizations as a means of receiving funds. They establish their own charities and use them as fronts to funnel money and resources to support their activities. The third is social welfare programs. So Hamas operates a network of social welfare programs, including schools, hospitals, and orphanages. While these programs serve a legitimate purpose, they also serve a means for Hamas to gain support and generate funds from sympathetic, good-hearted, kind individuals and organizations. The fourth is extortion and taxation. Let's face it, Hamas exerts control over the Gaza Strip, and they impose taxes and fees on businesses and individuals within their territory. They also engage in extortion and racketeering activities, demanding protection money from businesses and engaging in smuggling operations. The fifth is fundraising networks. Hamas has established fundraising networks in various countries, including those with large Palestinian diaspora populations. These networks engage in fundraising activities, soliciting donations from individuals and organizations sympathetic to the Palestinian cause. There's also money laundering. Hamas is believed to be involved in money laundering activities to obscure the origin and destination of their funds. They may exploit informal money transfer systems, such as hawala, to move money across borders without detection. It is important to note that the nature and extent of Hamas's financial portfolio may evolve over time. They adapt to changing circumstances and countermeasures implemented by international actors. Efforts by intelligence agencies and financial institutions to track and disrupt their funding sources have made it increasingly challenging for Hamas to operate openly. Now, when some people out there are raising millions for Gaza children, okay, I draw one of two conclusions. One, you are in cahoots with Hamas, and so you can go do your thing until justice does its thing, as far as I'm concerned. Or two, and this is the reason for this episode, you're buying into the story, and my heart goes way out to anyone who believes that they're doing good, but they are being exploited, and their hard-earned money is being stolen by an extremely wealthy group that governs over a population that is hungry for food, hungry for education, and hungry for freedom. In 2018, Israeli intelligence made the shocking discovery. They uncovered a vast financial network operated by Hamas the terrorists. But what happened next? The documents that they found on the computer of a senior Hamas official reveals assets worth hundreds of millions of dollars spread across the globe. Sudanese companies, skyscrapers in the UAE, and property ventures in Algeria and Turkey. And these are just a few examples. We don't know it all, or it hasn't been revealed to us. The team dedicated to tracking terror finances had uncovered Hamas's secret investment portfolio. And at its peak, the funds totaled a staggering $500 million. $500 million. The team presented their findings to Netanyahu, but like I said, it seems to me that little to no action has been taken by him. Intelligence agents continued to follow the money, but without the support of the structure. And then in 2018, a breakthrough occurred. Israeli investigators gained access to detailed financial records that provided a clear picture of Hamas's financial interests. The records exposed the involvement of a man named Mahmoud Ghazal and other 18 companies linked to Hamas. The Israeli team shared their findings with the US, hoping for financial sanctions. But both countries, Israel and the US, were focused on implementing sanctions on Iran. While the public disclosure of this information poses risks, such as prompting Hamas to adapt new funding methods, we've talked about that, but it also helps in disrupting their work. Governments and intelligence agencies can seize this opportunity to strengthen collaboration, to freeze the assets of certain individuals and organizations that are supporting Hamas, and implement enhanced measures to monitor suspicious and strange transactions. Combating the financial networks of organizations like Hamas is just one aspect of a larger strategy. Governments, intelligence agencies, and organizations must work together. They have to share critical information. They have to implement comprehensive measures to prevent acts of violence, terrible acts of violence, and maintain global security. The consequences of inaction are clear. Hamas continues to thrive. They're fueled by a financial network that really is currently untouched. So because I know you work hard for your money, and I know your heart is in the right place, otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. So I'm here to tell you what I know to be true, what has been backed up by major and intricate investigative work. I'm here to ask you for your kids, for you, most likely we're talking about your future kids, not to buy into the stories so-called Hamas activists are selling. They are harming you. They're harming your well-being. If you are pro-Palestinian and human rights, Hamas shouldn't be in charge. Everyone deserves a fair chance. Everyone deserves freedom. Everyone deserves to flourish. Palestinians, Israelis, Jews, Druze, Bedouins, Ukrainians, etc., 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 and on and on and on. We all do. And so maybe re-listen, maybe read a little bit more, perhaps educate yourself a little bit more, dig deeper. Those of you who are highly educated and really see the picture clearly, share your knowledge gently, in a friendly manner, so that people will actually listen to you. And that's it. So thank you so much for listening to this episode. to this entire season that is completely devoted to your health and well-being and a brighter future. Peace and love, and I'll catch you in the next season.